It happens on a random Tuesday afternoon. No flash, no mushroom cloud, no warning sirens. Just absolute, suffocating silence. The low hum of your refrigerator stops. The lights blink out. You reach for your phone. The screen is dead black. You turn the ignition in your truck. Nothing, not even a click. You aren't experiencing a rolling blackout. You haven't blown a fuse. You're experiencing the first 60 seconds of a high-altitude electromagnetic pulse. The power grid isn't just down. It is destroyed, burned out from the inside. Right now, out on the street, your neighbors are stepping onto their porches. They are looking at the sky. They are talking over their fences. They are waiting for the authorities to tell them what to do. They are wasting the only advantage they have left. In a total grid-down EMP scenario, you have exactly a 10-minute window. 10 minutes. That is the brief period of localized confusion before the masses realize the terrifying truth. The realization that 911 isn't working, the police aren't coming, the supply chains are bricked, and the municipal water pumps are already failing. 90% of people will spend this golden window paralyzed by normalcy bias. They will try to reboot their Wi-Fi routers. They will complain about the inconvenience. They will wait for a rescue that does not exist. They will spend their 10 minutes in denial, and they will die because of it. I am Victor Thorne, and this is Vanguard Survival. We do not deal in Hollywood doomsday fantasies here. We deal in the brutal, unforgiving math of survival. When the pulse hits, the clock starts. Every second you spend confused is a second bled directly from your lifespan. Today, we are stripping away the panic. I am giving you the exact step-by-step 10-minute survival protocol. This is the immediate action drill you must execute the absolute second the digital world dies. No hesitation, no second-guessing. If you execute this protocol, you instantly pivot from a helpless victim to a hardened survivor. You secure your perimeter, your water, and your comms before the rest of your city even knows what hit them. If you don't, you're just another blind target waiting for the chaos to reach your front door. Stop what you are doing. Grab a pen. Your 10 minutes start now. Listen carefully. The single biggest mistake you can make when the lights drop is assuming it's just a standard power outage. Normalcy bias is a psychological trap, and in an EMP scenario, this will get you killed. You do not have 30 minutes to wander around the neighborhood asking questions. Forget what you saw in movies. An EMP doesn't cause massive cinematic explosions or shower the streets in sparks. It is a silent, invisible wave of gamma radiation that induces a massive surge of current in any conductive material. It fries microprocessors instantly. So, how do you verify? You execute the instant verification protocol. First, look out the window. If the entire grid is black, ignore your breaker box. Checking your fuses is a fatal waste of time. Second, check your immediate battery-operated gear that was not plugged into the wall. Did your battery-powered wall clock stop? Did your standalone red dot optic just die? Third, and most importantly, the dead vehicle test. Modern vehicles are rolling computers. A post-2000 vehicle has anywhere from 50 to over 100 electronic control units. In a severe HEMP, those unshielded chips are toast. The ignition won't even click. If you look outside and see a modern delivery van stalled in the middle of the road, but a neighbor's 1985 carbureted pickup is still idling, you have your confirmation. At this exact moment, you stop trying to call 911. You stop trying to text your family. The cellular infrastructure is either physically melted or jammed with interference. The grid is dead. The clock is ticking. You are now officially in a survival environment. The second you confirm an EMP, your immediate overriding priority is not grabbing your tactical gear. It is water. And you have less time than you think. Here is a brutal truth that most preppers completely misunderstand. Municipal water systems are entirely dependent on electric pumps. Physics doesn't care about your feelings, and it certainly doesn't care about your thirst. When the grid dies, the massive electric pumps that push water from reservoirs into the city's elevated water towers fail instantly. The only water pressure left in your pipes is generated by gravity, pushing down whatever residual water is left in those local towers. With an entire city suddenly rushing to turn on their faucets in confusion, that gravity-fed pressure will bleed out in minutes. If you are on a hill, you might lose water pressure in less than 60 seconds. You must secure your internal water immediately. Do not waste time with small Tupperware containers or water bottles. You sprint to your bathtubs and deploy a heavy-duty plastic emergency water bladder like a water bob. You lay the liner in the tub, attach it to the faucet, and crank it to maximum cold. A standard bathtub holds about 65 gallons, but only if you trap it in a sterile bladder. Open bathtubs will leach soap scum and drain chemicals into your drinking supply within hours. While the bathtub is filling, you run to your basement or garage. Inside this tank is 40 to 50 gallons of potable water. It is the greatest hidden reservoir in your home. But if you do not act right now, you will lose it. When the municipal pipes run dry, gravity creates a vacuum. If a water main breaks or a neighbor at a lower elevation opens their taps, the water inside your hot water heater will actually siphon backward out of your house and back into the dead city grid. You must locate the cold water inlet valve on top of your hot water heater and shut it off immediately. Turn it clockwise until it stops. This isolates your home's plumbing from the city's dead grid. You have now trapped that 50 gallons inside your house. When you need it, you will connect a standard garden hose to the drain valve at the bottom of the tank and open a hot water faucet upstairs to let air in and break the vacuum. By minute 5, the taps in your city will spit air and die. Your neighbors will assume the city will fix it soon. You will be sitting on over 100 gallons of secured, sterile hydration. You survived the first week not with bullets, but with water. Now, you must secure the gear that keeps you connected to reality. 6 minutes in. If you've secured your water, you're ahead of the curve. But now we have to talk about the invisible killer of your capabilities, the E1 pulse. Listen carefully. Most preppers think they're safe because they bought a cheap Faraday bag off a random website. Half of those are garbage. The other half will be bypassed because people forget the most basic law of electromagnetics. A cage is only as strong as its weakest point. If there is a single gap, a single unshielded seam, that E1 pulse, traveling at the speed of light, will find it and cook your hardware. Forget what you saw in the movies, where every car and flashlight suddenly explodes. It's subtler and more permanent. The pulse induces a high-voltage surge in the microscopic traces of integrated circuits. It literally melts the silicon bridges. You have to triage your gear now. You don't save everything. You save the force multipliers. First, communications. Your Baofengs or high-end ham handhelds. If they aren't in the cage, they are paperweights. Second, medical equipment. If you or a family member relies on a digital glucose monitor or a CPAP machine, that goes in. Third, optics. Modern red dots and thermal scanners have motherboards. If the electronics fry, you're back to iron sights in a world where your threat might have NVGs. The survival myth. My microwave is a Faraday cage. Wrong. A microwave is designed to keep 2.45 gigahertz waves in. An EMP produces a broad spectrum of frequencies. Using a microwave to save your gear is a gamble that will likely leave you with a box of fried junk. Use a nesting system. Wrap your gear in non-conductor silk or bubble wrap, then heavy-duty aluminum foil. Ensure no gaps. Then place it inside a dedicated steel Faraday bin with a tight-fitting lid. This is the Faraday Dash. You have 3 minutes to get this done before the atmospheric conditions stabilize and the secondary surges from a dying grid finish off whatever the initial pulse missed. Minute 8. The sun is going down, and the world is about to get very dark and very loud. Your biggest threat in the next 72 hours isn't the EMP. It's the people who weren't ready for it. Right now, your house needs to become invisible. This is the Brayman protocol for architecture. If your house is the only one on the block with a flickering candle or a flashlight beam visible from the street, you are a beacon. You are a target. You are telling every desperate person in a 5-mile radius that you have resources. Go to your light lock. Use Gorilla Tape and heavy black plastic or specialized blackout curtains. Seal every window, not just the ones facing the street, every single one. Light travels. A glow from a backroom window can reflect off a neighbor's fence and give you away. Physics doesn't care about your comfort. It's going to get hot and it's going to get stuffy. Deal with it. If you open a window for a breeze, you've broken your concealment. Next, the garage. Most of you have electric garage door openers. When the power died, that door became a liability. Pull the manual release cord. Manually slide the locking bolt into the track. Most people forget this, leaving their garage doors floating on the chain. A thief with a coat hanger can reach through the top gap and pull that release from the outside in 6 seconds. Lock it down physically. The hard truth. You also need to control your scent signature. If you start boiling beef stew or frying bacon on a propane stove while your neighbors are eating cold crackers in the dark, you might as well ring a dinner bell for a riot. In these first 48 hours, eat no-cook rations. Minimize your footprint. Look at the clock. The 10-minute window is almost shut. You've secured your life support, your tools, and your perimeter. Your neighbors are still staring at their dead phones. Now we listen. We need to know if we're looking at a bad week or the end of the world as we know it. The 10 minutes are up. If you followed this protocol, you are currently sitting in a dark, silent, but secure fortress. You have water. You have shielded comms. You have a perimeter. You have bought yourself the most valuable commodity on Earth, a head start. But listen to me carefully. This was just the beginning. The grid isn't coming back in an hour. It's not coming back in a week. The absolute most critical takeaway you must burn into your mind is this. The world you knew 10 minutes ago is gone. The rules have changed. Physics is now your only master, and your neighbor is no longer a friend. They are a desperate variable in a zero-sum game. Knowledge without action is just a fancy way to die. If you watch this video and didn't immediately go check your water heater or your garage door latch, you are still a victim in waiting. You are still betting your life on a maybe. In the Vanguard, we don't do maybe. The chaos is only going to accelerate from here. As the realization of the blackout spreads, the golden window will be replaced by the lead window. You need to be ready for what comes at the 24-hour mark, the 72-hour mark, and the first month. If you want to stay ahead of the collapse, if you want the tactical truth that the mainstream media is too afraid to tell you, you need to be part of this unit. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notifications. In a world of static, we are the only signal that matters. Your next move is critical. If you have your home secured, but your gear isn't packed, you're still pinned down. You need to know exactly what goes into your 72-hour displacement kit before the roads become war zones. Click the video on the screen right now to build your 72-hour bag. Do it before the battery on whatever device you're watching this on hits zero. The clock never stops. Neither do we. Stay vigilant. Stay alive.